And if you don't know, I am Empress Joy or Coach Joy. I have been a dominatrix and a coach for women for a long time. And I actually authored a book called Selfish is the New Sexy. You can still get the ebook, audiobook, or print book on Amazon. And a lot of what I wrote in that book years ago, some of that is part of what I want to talk about today. Now, I want to preface this with saying that, you know what? This may not be for you, and you may not feel like this is why you feel used. And I want to share that I would have probably said the same thing a long time ago, right? Before I was radically honest with myself. These things on this list are things that I have absolutely gone through, things that I have worked through, and things that sometimes still come up for me, right? So this is not advice for anyone who does not want the advice, but this is definitely for you if you feel like you are tired of feeling like you're being used and you know that there has to be another way. You're tired of people coming to you and one after another, it ends up ultimately feeling the same way. Let's make sure that's up. So, number one, you have an addiction to being needed, right? I created something called the Nice Girl Rehab because, yeah, there is an addiction that forms when all of your life you have been taught things, right? You've been taught that there are ways that you earn love. You are taught that there are ways that you have to be, and they ultimately get you in a place where you feel like you have to give everything, you have to fix everything, you have to carry everything, right? You end up being that super strong woman that ultimately needs a rest but doesn't have anyone there who can allow her to rest. Sound familiar? I absolutely know what that's like. Okay, and this is about us being honest with ourselves, right? You don't have to share this with me. You don't have to share it with anyone. But this is about you making sure that if you are feeling used, that you stop feeling that way and you do something about it. Because you are so powerful that you can allow yourself to feel like you're under control of someone else. Catch that? So, number two is you have a fear of being selfish, right? That pours right into my book, Selfish is the New Sexy, because, yeah, you're ultimately afraid of a word at the end of the day. You're afraid of people saying that you care about yourself. You're afraid of people saying that you should give to yourself, that you should love yourself, that you should appreciate yourself. You're afraid of people saying that you taking care of yourself means that you may not take care of them. So you're putting yourself to the side so that you can make sure that they're taken care of, not even thinking of who is going to take care of you because you put yourself last. So why would anyone else do anything different? Right? You show how it is that you want to be treated by the way that you treat yourself. Hola. So you are allowing other people to benefit from you. Meanwhile, you're the only person who doesn't benefit because of you. And you are the only person in your life who has the responsibility to. So that word selfish might sound like an evil word. You may have been taught that that is an evil word. But even for those who have been taught that being selfish is evil, I'm sure you're also taught that you have to love your neighbor the way that you love yourself. So if you don't give any love to yourself, what exactly is it that you think you're giving to your neighbor? Just a thought. Sometimes we have to say things out loud for us to hear them. Okay? So having boundaries is incredibly important. And the more that you get used up, the more you'll recognize how important they are. So that's not something that anyone needs to tell you, of course, but it is something that I want you to just gauge within yourself, right? You, only you will know when that time is right and when it's time for you to put up some boundaries around yourself because that is self-love. Okay, so number 3 is that you have a desire to be chosen. Now, this is not around judgment. None of this is around judgment. This is just around whoever feels like they would like to look within themselves and see if this is something that you have been doing to yourself, a way that you feel, and something that you're ready to do something about. So when you doubt your own worth, especially as a woman, you will chase external validation. Now, men are taught about external validation, right? And women are taught to give everything outside of themselves to also seek that external validation, right? That's why it's so hard for you to do something just for your pleasure. That's why it's so hard for you to do something just for feeling good, even though everything that you do is so that you can feel good. So you have put a middleman in the way, literally and figuratively. You put someone in the way of you actually choosing yourself so that you can feel like they chose you, right? You telling yourself how amazing, incredible you are doesn't mean very much. It doesn't hold very much weight until someone else does it outside of you. And again, remember, it's going to be very hard for someone outside of you to do that if you're not doing it for yourself, right? It's almost like people can hear the thoughts that are in your head that you don't share with anybody else, right? Because internally, what you feel will show to you externally. It's just a mirror. It's just a reflection to show back that you can change at any time. You absolutely have that power. So you can continue to try to prove yourself to someone else, or you can do what actually gives you a better payoff and prove to yourself, right? And look within yourself and find all the ways that you are worthy. I've got a ton of them, starting with the fact that the energy and the spirit that is flowing through you has come from the source of all. And that you are here having an experience, expanding in curiosity, creating. And that is part of what you were put here to do. Now, no one else knows exactly what that expression looks like for you. That's a journey that you're on. And ultimately, the more that you go externally to seek the validation, the further you go away from the energy inside that's always guiding you, that's always leading you. So choose yourself, ultimately, right? Prove to yourself, let yourself know how much you are worth, and you will continue to receive that externally instead of going the backwards way. Okay, number 4. Number 4 on why women feel used. You have guilt around saying no. And this, of course, leads into everything that we're talking about. You may or may not know, I created a chatbot, a GPT for you at gpt.nicegirlrehab.com, where if you need help saying no, it is a way to leverage AI to help you to find the words to say it, no matter what the tone is. If you want to be soft and cute, if you want to be audacious in your no, it will help you. It will role play with you and help you to get into a space where you can start to say yes to yourself and no to others when you desire to, right? You don't have to say no to everyone in your life, but if you're feeling used, there's clearly some people or some times where you should be saying no. So again, that's gpt.nicegirlrehab.com to get help with saying no, to get help with the guilt, to get help in releasing that, to get help in recognizing how important it is to say yes to you before you say yes to anyone else in your life. Okay, and number 5 is the need to feel useful. Now, this is a little different than the others, especially with the way that I see it. A lot of times, and now look, this is something that a lot of people are going to have to go a little internal for. I definitely did. It is part of what went into selfish is the new sexy, talking a little deeper around this. But sometimes you are doing things for others because you are looking for them to do something for you. True or true? And how you can figure this out is if you were to reach out to someone and they were to say no, how do you feel around that? Right? Are they allowed to say no just like you are? Right? In that time, when you were finding yourself trying to be useful in their life, did they even ask you for help? Did they ask you to step up and jump to serving them? Did they ask you for you to take your last few dollars and give to them? Did they ask you, whatever it was, right, that you found yourself jumping into someone else's situation, jumping into someone else's life, and let's say you gave advice, right? Oftentimes, if you really look a little closer, they won't be asking you for it, but let's say you decided to give someone advice. How do you feel when they don't take it? I know for me, I had to recognize that oftentimes the advice that I give to other people is advice for me. It was advice that I needed to take, advice that I needed to hear come out of my own mouth. So whether they took it or not, ultimately, they were I helped to create them in my experience for answers that I needed. So whether they took that advice or not is okay. And how many times has somebody given you advice that you may have even asked for that at that time you didn't take? Right? So instead of us being so worried about what other people are doing, what solutions we believe that other people need that they didn't even ask for, and if we are giving from our hearts, why is it that we have to have control over if they took that advice or if we need them in the future, that they have to be there for us, right? If we are giving, then it must be coming from our heart. If not, then resistance is something that ends up being a part of, excuse me, now resentment is something that oftentimes ends up being a part of our relationships. And it didn't have to be. It's okay for someone else to be living their experience. It's okay for you not to jump to everyone else's rescue. It's okay for you to put your needs, desires, your pleasures before others. It's okay for you to say no. It's okay for you to say, my time is mine and I deserve it before anyone else could. It's okay for you to say that, you know what? I am the shit. And I do deserve things that I desire. I do deserve to have an amazing life. I do deserve people in my life who actually want to give to me. I deserve to be pleased. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be given to. I deserve to receive. I am valuable. Even my energy is something that could not be replaced. My time is something that can never be bought. Because every minute, every second, every hour, every day in your life is one that you will never get back. And there is no amount of money that you will be able to do that. So while you are in the midst of feeling used, while it ultimately is not your fault, it is your responsibility. There are things that you did or didn't do that allowed for you to look like an easy target, for you to be easy prey, for you to take even less time with yourself and give it out to everyone else in the world. Meanwhile, growing more and more anger and resentment, and then even guilt for recognizing that your time is continually passing by, and ultimately you are the only person who is responsible. Responsibility, right? You are the only person who is responsible for the happiness, the joy, the fulfillment, the greatness in your life to be expressed and expanded as you came on this earth to do. So, there are many, many, many things that you can do. Now, since you didn't ask me for advice on it, I'm not going to just throw out advice, right? I do have a private community where we go through some of these things. But for here, what I want you to know is that it's so important for you to truly be honest with yourself. It's the only way you're going to be able to make any changes and to stop being used, to stop feeling used, to stop creating more and more anger and resentment in your life. You are the only one who can help you. Thank you, Yolanda. I appreciate all the compliments. You are the only one who can help you. So you have to go inward to be able to do that. Does not matter what anyone else says. Does not matter what it is that they're doing in their life. And remember, if they didn't ask you for that help, are you really giving it because you want to help? Or are you really giving it because you want something in return? Ultimately, you'll see, because that anger and that resentment will grow even more. And ultimately, they don't have to do anything for you. Just like you don't have to do anything for them. That is your choice. And this life isn't all about healing, right? It's about making different choices. Because as we, and I definitely learned from myself, continuing to make ones that go against my best interests, continuing to make decisions that make me be filled with emotions that I don't want to is not healthy. So, of course, I would think I'm in a continuous cycle of healing if I keep making choices and decisions that keep taking me down the same track. Of course, I would. And ultimately, we all do. So, radical honesty with yourself is the most important thing. You let other people have their journeys, and you continue to have yours too. And some people will love you for it, and you will also be the mirror for others to figure out what it is that they're meant to do in their life. So continue to live